Seems like it really is outdoors with a roof, right? It's like a dome with a roof.
I want to ask about Ryan Watts. I followed Ohio State football for a long time. I don't think there's ever been a 6'3" corner that's actually played a lot of football. Looks like he's going to play a lot of football. I mean,
Let's hope so.
Guys, can we just get
how rare is that to see a 6'3" corner
Yeah.
that can actually play outside corner?
It's the first one that I've coached. You know, we've coached a lot of long kids, and we love long players here. We love tall players, but they got to be able to change direction. They got to be able to play in space. And Ryan really does. He worked really hard on it. Worked really hard in the offseason on being in a good football position with a good knee bend. You know, being able to play tall. There's nothing. You know, he can't be short, and we don't want him to be. So he's going to play tall. And we worked really hard on what that looks like and what that feels like. And I'm excited for his season.
Those three true freshman corners, you did a good job recruiting them. All highly
Thanks.
rated. How you saw Denzel in the spring,
Yep.
obviously, in the winter. But I know it's early. How are they looking so far?
Very, very good. Very pleased. Very pleased. Playing hard, playing physical, competing, not afraid. I mean, you guys understand. You got to go out there and play those wide receivers every day now. You got to be a dude, and they're showing up every day. It's exciting. I'm very happy with them.
Probably one of them, you think, or more in your actually be in your rotation, you think?
Here, it's too early to say. To be very honest, it's too early. But I would expect them to be contributors to this football team, whether it's on special teams, whether it's in the secondary, somewhere, somehow, they're going to be on the field for the Buckeyes.
Kerry, we only see a couple periods, but Cam made a couple TBUs out there in the rejoin session early on.
That wasn't bad.
Pretty good, right?
I thought so.
Has he looked? I know he's. Ryan said a pitch count early on.
Mm-hmm.
Has he looked like he's fully back to you?
Yes.
What does that mean for you?
Well, it means everything, right? You know, Cam was playing really well last year. People forget that. You know, he had a good camp. He's playing really well. He's going out there playing nickel, playing man-to-man in some tough situations, and he was playing really well. And so it was a heartbreaking injury for him. Worked hard to rehab it. Found himself in a good spot right now. We are going to be careful. We are going to be cautious. We should be. But at the same time, he's got to knock the rust off, and he's got to be ready to play. But he's fast. He's twitchy. You know, and he's going to go out there and compete.
I imagine this is probably a combination of things, but he's played a lot before, so maybe he doesn't need a ton of reps, and he's coming back from injury. So is that going into the balance there?
No, he needs a ton of reps. You know, that just, we all need a ton of reps, but we're going to be smart about it, and we have to be, because we can't show up, you know, September 2nd with half the guys, unless we can't help it. But if we can help it, we're going to help it, everything we can. And he's got to do his part to take care of his body.
For him specifically coming off the kind of injury he did, like what was sort of crucial for him to get back?
You know, I think more than anything with an Achilles, and I'm not a doctor or a trainer, I just know that there's a mental block there where, because that's just one of those things where you explode and it snaps. And you didn't really do anything wrong. You didn't fail to stretch. There wasn't something that you did that created that. It just happened. And so I think more than anything, it's playing and not feeling fear that that's going to happen. And the only way to fight through that is to go play. And so we're working through that process right now. And I'm not going to tell you that's easy, because it's not. I think that's a challenging process for him. But I also think the more he does it and the more success he has, the more comfortable he'll feel.
Cam is one of the guys who needs to lead that group along with seven.
Yeah, you know what? It's an interesting group when you talk about leadership, because we've got some veteran guys there, but we got some young guys who are not afraid to step up and be counted too. I mean, you know, we got second-year freshman guys that are going to go out there and show up. So it's an interesting group when you talk about leadership. What I think right now is they're all competing, which I don't think gets any better than having competition.
Who are some of those younger guys that you've seen kind of step up in a leadership?
All of them. I mean, and not necessarily so much in a leadership role, but as much as just showing up to play. You know, it's corner. I got that guy. I got to go play. I mean, I don't know how much leadership you need. I got to go play. So you got to know how to do the things inside the building and how to do things in the classroom, and that is being taught by all of the DBs. You know, Marcus Williamson's a great leader. Seven's a great leader. Those guys show them how to do business. But when it comes time to go line up and play, let's go play.
Obviously, Cam's injury changed things last year. Ideally, do you want to have three guys rotating rather than just two guys playing?
No, 3, 4, 5. They can play. They're going to play. We're going to play fast, fresh players. And that's not just a corner. Fast, fresh players are going to play. That would be the objective.
A year ago, you were pretty upfront about going to last season, that the COVID and Cam's injury kind of depleted the confidence that you
people that you had that you were confident in, how much more confident are you just in the depth that you have at this time or going into the season?
Today, 180 degrees. We got to get through camp. We got to get through camp. We got to get through camp healthy. You know, we got a lot of dings today. We got a lot of little things, you know, nothing for publication or nothing that anybody, little things, nagging things. And we got to get over that. So, and we will. But the good news is, with truck guys out there, they play. They play. And it's a much more comfortable feeling. I got to be honest with you. First of all, when you're at Ohio State, they love football. They don't get out there, Jeremy, by now if they don't love football because they died in the weight room. You know, I mean, they didn't make it. So they love football because they got to go through a whole lot of stuff to get to this point in time. They're grateful to be playing football now, right? And not just hitting sleds and lifting weights and running up and down fields. They're playing ball. I think you see guys show it in different ways. I'm not a big fan of these guys. I'm a big fan of these guys. And so when you see guys running around high-fiving and hugging, I love that. When I see a guy ripping some other guy and saying, hey, you know, Haskell got after him today. It's a great thing. That's what we need. You know, that guy loves ball. And so to me, that's an easy one to see. Does that make sense, Jeremy? I got to take Doug. He's got a couple times. Good to see you.
In the slot, what kind of skills are you looking for there for guys with that duty, and who on this roster fits that best right now?
Yeah, so it's all of the skills. It's a great question because they have to be able to cover man-to-man. They have to be able to stop the run. They're going to have run fits. They got to be able to block, destruct, and get off good blockers, sometimes tight ends. They have to be able to play zone coverage and have a great feel for that. They have to be able to pressure, blitz the quarterback. So all the skills are in play with a guy who's playing in the slot. And so those are unique players. And so those guys have to be trained to do those jobs, and they have to feel comfortable doing those jobs. Marcus did a great job playing there last year. Right now, Lathan Ransom is doing a great job as well. And then we got some young guys that are out there playing. Cam Martinez has had a great spring. He's had a great summer. He was gold in the weight room, which was phenomenal. He's had a great fall camp so far, and so he is competing. And then young guy Jansen Dunn. So we got 4 guys that are playing in that spot right now. But the reality is, Doug, the 4 or 5 best defensive backs are going to be on the field now. So however we got to do that, and then we got to rotate them around. They all got to know all the jobs. They all got to know all the jobs so that we can do that and not be stuck with, oh, what are we going to do? We can't play out of defense because we don't have that guy. That make sense? Somebody over here.
Which one of those jobs do you think Court Williams could do best?
Which of those jobs?
Somewhere in your 5, we're trying to put 5 defensive backs out there. What does he do best?
Well, Court, the thing that Court does first and foremost is Court Williams is the most diligent worker that I have been around anywhere, anytime, any place. The only guy that was like him was a kid named Logan Ryan at the Tennessee Titans. This kid is the first guy in the building every day. He's the last guy to leave. He's been living in a training room, rehabbing that knee. He watches film. He studies. Now he's got to go play. He had a year where he didn't play ball. And so it's not fair, Austin, for me to tell you exactly what he's great at yet because we're working him back in. I mean, his ACL was October, right? So but man, I'm excited for him. I'm excited to coach a guy like that. You talk about leadership. Nobody has to wonder where Court is. He's in a training room. He's in a weight room. He's in a film room. That's where he is, every day, all day.
Kerry, I remember when you first came back, we had a chance to interview you, I believe it was that February, right when you first came back, and you had just met Matt Barnes. I remember you saying how impressed you were with Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
What do you think of his promotion, working with him more now?
Yep.
You having more freedom, kind of just be the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Obviously, you're starting to work with the corners. So what are your thoughts on that?
I love Matt Barnes. I think Matt Barnes is a great coach. Matt Barnes is a technician. He coaches technique. He coaches it hard. He understands scheme, and he does a great job in that regard. He is a diligent, detail guy. He is my perfect partner in the back end because diligence and details are not always my strong suit, and he holds me accountable for that. I'm going to get them going, and they're going to go hard. He's going to make sure that every T is crossed, every I is dotted, and he's doing a phenomenal job. He prepares his meetings. I'm in all of them, and he is doing a great job preparing those kids in the back end. I'm very excited about the job that he's doing.
It frees you up a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I love it. It does. I get to go down and watch Larry's guys sometimes, and I get to watch Larry coach. And man, you have fun. Go watch Larry coach for a little bit. Go watch what those guys do in some drills, right? And watch Al. Al's out there wearing his pad and they're hitting him and his head snapping back. I mean, I love watching those guys coach. That part is really cool, and I'm getting so much more connected with all of those guys in those other areas. So yeah, it's a blessing to have Matt because it does allow me to do some other things. That's a great question because Matt had a great description of DeMario yesterday, and he told the DBs this. He said he's a piece of clay. He's a piece of clay. He just does everything the way we tell him to do it because he's never done it before. Whereas other guys, right, do things the way they want to do it because they've done it before. Not DeMario. So he is doing things exactly the way because he don't know any better. And you love that about DeMario. And he's high energy. He's quick twitch. I'm excited to watch him play. And he gets out there and he's a rep eater. He shows up every day. He's eating a bunch of reps and he's competing. And there's more than one occasion in the meeting room where Matt's pointing out, hey, this is the best of these techniques that we've had so far. This is the best, and it's DeMario. That's fantastic. Third, I think, but that's okay. All right. I don't know. I mean, we got a month. He's going to play. He's going to play. So, that's a great thing about where we are right now. We got guys that are competing and guys that are going to play and guys that are confidence givers right now, which I love about them. You feel confident that they go out in the field. You can call what you want and go play ball. One of what? Confidence givers? Love Josh Proctor. Best offseason he's ever had. I haven't been here for all of them, Tim, but he's had a great offseason in every area of his life. I'm excited for him. Josh can run and Josh can hit. Now Josh is taking on some real good leadership, communication, and I'm excited to watch him play back here in the back. Yeah, I think what I would say to you is this. He's showing up consistently in places where he didn't before. In other words, flashes of greatness. Now we're getting consistent greatness, not flashes. Right? We can see it. He's not there yet now. We're going to get better all month long, but he's coming now. Good, great question. Yeah. Yep. It's a great question. I think it depends on the player more than anything. I obviously believe that we have the greatest product to offer a young man and his family of anybody in the country, and I think that's an easy presentation to make. It's sometimes easier for them to see than other times. I would tell you that sometimes you just meet people and you have connections with them. I think I knew the day that I met my wife, that was the one I wanted. It took me a long time to talk her into going out with me. She wasn't a 20-day recruit. But the ones that you feel that connection with and they feel it too, you get to the point, well, why wait? We got a great product. You really like it here. Let's go forward. And some of them do, and those are guys that don't look back. It's exciting. Here's what I think. In today's world, you better recruit guys every day. You better recruit guys on your team every day. You better recruit people every day, right? You better be positive and friendly and valuable to them in their life. You better be demonstrating to them that you're going to be able to make a change for them every day, whether they're on your team or somebody that committed to you 2 years ago. Because I think if you don't, there's too many people in the world that are showing them other things, and I think that's life. That's the world we're in, and that's okay. Because if you don't like change, you better learn to like irrelevance, and you better be able to move with it.
Kerry, you said it's 180 degrees, just in terms of confidence level. Like right now, you stay healthy.
Yeah, we day 3.
If you feel good about the depth and the level of confidence in that, how does that affect how you'll call a game defensively?
Well, dramatically, right? I mean, that's. I'm not going to tell you because then everybody will see it, but it would affect dramatically how you would call a game based on the level of confidence you have in each of the 3 levels of the defense. and you want to do things. When you call a game, you want to play to your players' strengths, you know, and so you have to. And so based on their level of confidence at each of the 3 levels, that will dictate how the game gets called.
Kerry, last question for Coach. I'll get you, Bill. At Big Ten Media Days that the defense is tired of hearing we suck. Are you seeing that from these guys that they're pissed off about the way last year went?
You know, I could spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to say that they seem to me to be a really highly motivated group of young men who got a little pissed off in them. So, yeah.
Last question over here for Bill.
Kerry, you talk about the guys who can play cover safety.
Yeah.
Marcus, Lathan, Jansen, all kind of physically.
Cam Martinez, you forgot. That's okay.
They're all pretty different physically.
Yeah.
I think you'd say the same about Ronnie and Craig and Bullet. Like, how much of who plays will be dictated by matchup when you have sort of different shapes?
A lot. It's a great question. A lot. You know, I was sharing with them yesterday. You know, I had a kid who played nickel at Tennessee, but when we went 12 personnel, he played corner. You know, it might be it's going to be based on our opponent and based on our skill set. The best 11 players to win that play are going to be on the field for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then the next play, the best 11 players for Ohio State to win that play are going to play. We got a lot of good players here. We should have guys on the field that maximize their strengths to our defense to match up in the best possible way with our opponents.
How much does your time with Tennessee maybe influence that? Because I think a lot of times in college you just sort of have your 11, you put them out there. I don't know how much matchup.
Well, the great news is that Ohio State got more players. I mean, like a lot smaller group when you're in the NFL. Now we got a lot of guys. And like you're articulating all these different body types and skill sets and all that kind of stuff. They've all got a great role to play. And I think the way to keep them happy, keep them energized, keep them healthy, and to keep them playing fast and physical is to play them. And so, you know, let's go compete. Now, you're not going to take a great one off the field, and at the same time, there might be a guy who's got his 15 plays, and they're pretty good plays. Great question, Bill.
Last question, Coach. It's going to be 17 degrees at kickoff in Minnesota.
I'm wearing a jacket, daggone it. Hey, good job, guys. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.